What's up, YouTube? It's Grant Flex and welcome back to another video. Today, like the title says, we're gonna be making some soft tacos, 70 style, which means you use ground beef instead of regular carne asada, which is kind of just how I like it. I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while, but hopefully I should be making some new videos soon. I've just been out of ideas. But now that I know how to make soft tacos, I can teach y'all. So, first off, everything that you're going to need in this video is down in the description. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you might need, but it all comes easy. You know, it's all store-bought and stuff. So anyways, first thing y'all have to do is wash your hands. And I have not done that yet, so that is what I'm going to go do now. Okay. So once you've washed your hands, what you're going to want to start with is getting your ground beef. I just bought this at my local grocery store. Well, I guess I didn't buy it. My mom did. But, alright, so I'm just using a steak knife because, you know, that's really the only knife I have, so. And then at all times when we're handling meats, we gotta wash our hands, like, once we're done. But anyways, once you've got that open, you can just flop that into your pan. Do the same here. Alright, and now you want to turn on the burner. So today I'm going to be doing about medium heat, just like that. And then, sorry if you can hear the line trimmer. I guess it's not on anymore. And then, so now, oh shoot, okay, forgot to do this, but usually, before you put your meat in, you want to put some oil in that pan. I'll show back here. And then, yeah, you want to take your spatula and kind of just chop it up. Now we chop it up. I guess this is going to take a while. Alright, so now I've been chopping it for a little bit now. Make sure that when you are chopping it, you're like flipping it around and stuff. And then in a little bit here, I'm going to show you all how to season this. Because you know, on this channel, we season everything. Or we season everything that needs to be seasoned. So, yeah. When you start to season it, most of the meat should be like partially cooked. You know, it should all have turned brown. But yeah. Alright, y'all, so I think I'm gonna add my seasoning now. So first off, I'm going with this Spicely Organics taco seasoning. But this isn't just it. Although, if you want to, you can just do this. But I think this adds like most of the flavor. So I like to put a hefty amount of this. Okay. And then next up we have McCormick paprika. And then we just want to dazzle a little bit on there. Not too much, but you know, enough. Oh yeah, now I'm really starting to smell it. Oh yeah, that's good. And now we want to, I'm using some garlic powder here. McCormick again. I don't usually put too much, you know, just enough. And then we want to go with just a small amount of Tajin. I don't like, you know, I just do like a little dash, you know, nothing too crazy, because we're going to be using more Tajin later. And then, obviously, a pinch of salt. and some pepper. You can use any salt, any pepper, it's all the same. Alright. And then we want to start mixing that up again. And really make sure you mix it. And you can always add more later too. In fact, I'll show you this little thing I like to do. Alright y'all, so now I'm going to show you my little secret to making taco meat out of ground beef. I like to make a hole in the middle and see how all those juices are seeping in. I like to use that to season the food just a little more. So we're going to use all of our seasoning that we used before. And we want to just put that right on our puddle. Paprika. Garlic powder. Sometimes I find with this big thing of garlic powder, I can kind of like pump the air out by squeezing it, but whatever works best for you. Maybe not. I'm going to do the big thing here. Oh yeah, there we go. And then finally, well, I guess not finally, some more Tajin. And then we cannot forget our salt and pepper. Let's get some more in there. And then now we're gonna mix all that in. And that's just gonna, all that seasoning is gonna slosh around and stick to the ground beef. And then you want to cook it until you can't see any more red in there, because red is raw. And this is just our protein. Oh yeah, look at all that juice. That looks pretty good. So yeah, we're just going to want to chop all this up. And you kind of want your texture to be like this, you know, where it's just like itty bitty chunks. And if you see any of the big chunks, that's what you do. Like, yeah, here's one. Just like that. Really take it out. Alright. So once we're done cooking this, we're just going to set it off on a burner to the side on low heat. And we can just drop our spatula on there. And then we want to get our stuff for refried beans. Now, I'm just using this Amy's traditional refried beans. And then for this you're going to need a pot and a spoon. So I'm going to get this open. There we go. Oh yeah, that smells good. Alright, and then we just want to dump it in there in just a second. Oh yeah. It may look like kind of bad now, but once you get it warming up, it'll look good. Smells great. Alright y'all, so make sure that when you're cooking your refried beans here, you're mixing it up occasionally and it's on low heat. So I got it at like 4 notches right now, which is usually a good heat. And then, yeah, you just want to keep mixing that around. And then, yeah. And, like, it's really just going to be ready whenever it's warm, so it doesn't take that long to cook. Because if it comes in a can like this, You know, usually it's already been cooked. Like refried beans, it's been cooked. And you don't have to be using refried beans. I like refried beans. A lot of people do. But you don't have to. You know, you can use like regular pinto beans, black beans, coffee beans even. No, probably not. But you know, you can like use any traditional bean. Yeah. Alright, so you just want to like keep mixing it up, and then once you're done, just gonna put it on a burner off to the side. So I'm gonna put it over here, and then you're gonna want to get out a little skillet, or I guess not skillet, like a little pan that say you would use for like pancakes or something. And now we're gonna get our tortillas ready. So let me do that. Alright, so once we have our little pan out here, we want to turn it on to medium heat. And then we want to get our tortillas. I'm just using Maria and Ricardo's soft corn and wheat tortillas because they've served me pretty well since my childhood, when my mom would make me quesadillas. Alright, so you want to get these ready and wait for that pan to warm up. You don't need any like oil or butter or anything. Same thing with the refried beans, since I didn't really make that clear. And then you just want to get your like favorite 3 cheese blend, or I recommend a 3 cheese blend, but I guess you can do whatever cheese you want. I'm just using this Trader Joe's 3 cheese blend. And make sure it's like not touching any of the burners that you're using or anything like that. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for this pan to heat up. Alright y'all, so we got our pan heated up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my cheese ready. Set that off to the side. Get some tortillas and place them both on the burner. And now you can also just do 1 tortilla if you want. And then throw some cheese on there. I like mine to be pretty cheesy, but like I keep saying, you know, you can always like tweak the recipe and like so it's up to your standards. And then yeah, I guess that's it. And try your best not to get any cheese on the griddle like I did here, but if you do, it's fine. You can always just scrape it off with the spatula you use for ground beef. So I'm going to just throw a little more cheese on there. And then, yeah. So now we're going to just wait for all this cheese to melt just a little. Unless you like your tortillas to be a little more crispy, then you can wait for them to be fully melted. Alright y'all, so this is about when I'm going to take them off. So I'm going to just be using this cutting board so I can fit both of them on without it like looking weird. So yeah, this is usually just how I get them off. You don't have to like get a spatula or anything. And then yeah, let's go to the table. Alright y'all, so my GoPro's running low, so I'm gonna have to hurry up here, but this is when the taco comes together. Now, if you like it, you can add some salsa and guacamole and stuff, what have you. But me, I like my tacos to be pretty plain. I will take some guacamole if they, you know, if you got guacamole, you know, I prefer it, but today I don't think I do. Actually, let me check. Alright, so turns out we do have guacamole, so yeah, I'm gonna have to get a spoon for that actually, so. Alright, we got our spoon, so everything's ready now. So make sure you got your Tajin with you, some of your beans, and your ground beef, and your guacamole. if you have it. And then, yeah, so we're just gonna plop some beans onto there. Look at that. And I like to do the beans first because it's kind of like a base. And the more beans, the better, you know, because I like my beans. So, yeah, we can just kind of spread it like that. I'll do the other tortilla later. For now, we'll be focused on this tortilla. So now I'm going to get some ground beef. Oh, don't want to spill it now. You want to put just about as much ground beef as you did. Oh no, we got some juices running away from us. So you want to put just about as much ground beef as you did beans. And make sure you don't overload your tortilla like I just did. Kind of setting a bad example here, but I guess it is what it is. And then finally, I like to go light on the guacamole, you know. Ooh, yikes. I guess it can go down there because it'll eventually kind of fold up. And then last, but most definitely not least, we gotta wrap it up. And sprinkle some Tajin on there. The Tajin is really what makes this. It ain't a taco without Tajin, in my opinion. But yeah, here is the final product. Looks amazing. I can't wait to bite into this. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe because it, you know, helps me out a lot and it encourages me to keep these videos going. And yeah, sorry, my taco is running away from me. Yeah, have a good day and enjoy your tacos.